Okay, hello, good morning, everyone. My name is Eileen, and I'm also like Gabby from Hong Kong. And first of all, I'd like to say thank you to SDU, Faculty of Education and Humanity, for the invitation, allow us to share a research finding we have in Hong Kong. We're basically using a brainwave technology called neurocognitive training for a group of students with ADHD. So we are testing its effectiveness to improve the attention and also executive functions of this group of students diagnosed with ADHD. So in this quick talk, I'll firstly talk about the technology itself, then I'll move on to talk about the research. So what is neurocognitive training? It's actually a brainwave technology that aims to improve attentiveness and executive function and to achieve a state of self-regulation and self-control. So with that said, here is I put the attention here, and this will be the executive function. Sorry about the Chinese character in this slide. And this is the system that we are using, and these are the neurocognitive training exercise in the system. First, I'll just quickly show you one of them. And in this exercise, you can see that the student in the screen, they are wearing an armband, which is a sensor for the brainwave of the kid. So it's mainly measuring the beta brainwave of him. When he's focusing, you can see that there's a red bar that will go up to all the way. And in order for him to visualize his own attentive state, and then you can also see the submarine is going down. So what we're doing here is to trying to help the ADHD students to be able to visualize the attentive state, to understand what does it feel to be able to pay attention and learn to sustain the attention. So you can see now this boy, his name is Tay, he's no longer paying attention, he's fidgeting, he's daydreaming, and he's explaining, can you see that the submarine is going up and then the red bar is gone? Because he's no longer paying attention. So this is just the bronze level of this like cane. There's only the silver and gold level to enhance his other executive functions. So the other games also serve in a similar manner. The student have to pay attention in order for them to either activate the exercise or for the characters in the screen to move in a certain direction. So the technology utilize the idea of neuroplasticity, which I'm sure most of you will know, is the capacity of the neurons and neuronal network in the brain to change the connections and the behavior to respond to a new information, new sensory stimulation, and development, and so on and so forth. So in the exercise we saw here, basically, he's really using his attentive states repeatedly in a low stimuli environment, so it can quickly enhance the student attentive state. So the system itself has been tested in the Tufts School of Medicine in US, undergoing 3 research. The last one was being published in Journal of Pediatrics, saying that it can effectively improve the students' attentiveness, executive function, and also their hyperactive behavior. And it sustained a sustainable medical dose. So it's a randomized control trial. You can see with the other training or the control group, there's no effectiveness. So with that said, we're really curious to know, so will that have a similar effect for a group of Asia students? So that's why BrainX is collaborated with Education University of Hong Kong, Institute of Special Needs and Inclusive Education. Our primary investigator is Professor Kenneth Sin. He's a very renowned professor in Hong Kong in the domain of inclusive education. So he is very well known in Hong Kong. So in this research, we actually started enrollment, and actually 74 students enrolled. At the end, we only intake 24 students, so the sample size is 24. And a student from grade 3 to grade 6, primary school student, and all of them are diagnosed with ADHD without comorbidity. So they don't have any autistic spectrum disorders, dyslexia, or any other neurodevelopmental issue. So all of this group of students undergo a training section of 40 sessions and last for 20 weeks. So our research ended in last March 2023. just to show you a few of the pictures, this is the consultation assessment. The parents are gathering around to have the registration. You can see the computer and the kids are wearing the armband. You can see that they're sitting properly, and most of them are not like that. You can see personnel from the Education University of Hong Kong, Mr. Ho Kawa, and he's also here, was also have site visit and talk to the kids. And here is Feng Zhan, and he is the person who analyzed all the data, and he also belongs to the Education University of Hong Kong. So this is the participation group that we have. We have the N of 24. You can see the gender, age, and you can see that about half of them will be taking ADHD medication, and all of them are taking stimulant medication, and half of them are not. So most of them are from local schooling, and some, like quite a bit of them are undergoing other form of training, and some are not. So after they went through like 20 weeks, 40 session of training, we measure the student outcome by 5 assessment tools. And 2 of those are being like clinical assessment. I'm sure a lot of you might be familiar with what a CPT is. It's a continuous performance test. So the one that we're more familiar with are TOVA or Connors-3 CPT, but this one, MOXO, is a newer CPT with a higher sensitivity and specificity. And I want to kind of first talk about what MOXO is. So it's a system that was from Israel. So, and you can quickly see the student attentiveness, timeliness, impulsivity, and hyperreactivity. So after the kids go through a 14.5 minutes assessment, which is a computer-based assessment, you can see that whether the kids will have, the student will have a red light or not, meaning that whether they are suggestive of being ADHD. And not only you can quantify the degree, the severity level of the ADHD, and you can also see if it's a misdiagnosed or not, so a chance of misdiagnosed. So with that said, you can see that if the attentiveness or the timeliness has a red light, you can see that the kids is a predominantly inattentive presentation. If the I and H, the impulsivity and hyperreactivity, has a red light, they are predominantly hyperactive or impulsive presentation, or a combined type. So quickly, I just pull out 4 cases for you to see. So this will be the pre-training, and this will be the post-training, pre-training, post-training. So the objective is to pull up, like enhance, straighten the lines and kind of pull it up a bit. Pulling up means to enhance the competency of the students, straighten it out. All these lines are really fluctuating, meaning that they are being very badly affected by different type of distractor, like auditory distractor or visual distractor. So now the kids are less sensitive to different type of distractor, meaning that these kids in the classroom setting, they will be responding to the boy sitting next to them, tapping on the floor, playing around with a pen or things like that. So you can see the first outcome measures, MOXO assessment. These are the pre-assessment and post-assessment means, and you can see that we are getting significant results. And in the second assessment tools we use Connors-3 CPT, we also have quite significant results. And also the third one that we use, the third and fourth, a questionnaire for students and parents. So what are we asking them? We're basically asking them if they can pay attention in class better, if their academic results are better, or if their emotional control behavior, their studying habit, their off-task kind of behavior. So you can see that the parents say that the kids have an improvement, have a significant improvement, and the dark green are the exceptionally improvement. And you can actually see that the students, they perceive themselves as exceptionally performance more, which means that we translate it into self-efficacy. So we also have interview with parents. We did a set in the center, and Education University of Hong Kong also did a set. So I'm sorry, it's in Cantonese, so I'm not going to play it. So basically, I'll just summarize. The parents in the video will say that Initially, the students will never have a ranking in school because in Hong Kong, it's quite common that we only rank the top 10 students. So the parents said they never have a ranking in school, but now this time the kids is ranking 6. And or the second parents will say that before I really need to accompany, sit beside my kids to be able to finish their homework. And now they're able to do the homework on their own. So parents say that they improve on self-control, self-regulation. And the fourth one said the study time stay the same, but they're getting higher grades. They're scoring 80 to 90 in exams. And other parents will say that the kids are now having better social skills and they're having better emotional control, like reducing the amounts of outbursts or the frequency of outburst. So the more important group of students, it's important to hear from them. So student A, they will say that my score improved from 50 to 70. Student B will say that my Chinese score improved from 60 to 80. And he also mentioned that before he really disliked Chinese, because I do notice that a group of ADHD students, they have a hard time learning Chinese. I think it's because of the complexity of the character. So now he said he resent Chinese, like he hate Chinese a bit less, and then he's better to get at it, to finish the homework or finish the dictation work. So the student C will say the capability of task initiation is better. So before it might take him an hour before he can start with homework. Now it's shortened to 30 minutes. A student D will say that homework finishing time will decrease from 3 hours to 1 hour. The next student say is from 4 hours to 1.5 hours. And then so on and so forth, being able to sustain the attention throughout the task better or reduce the frequency and duration of emotional outbursts. So Education University of Hong Kong, they're really good. They are all, the research team, we are all in like a WhatsApp group, like a communication group. So they can constantly see parents' feedback and see how the different kids are improving. So to celebrate the outcome that we have, SDU host a press conference last June in University of Hong Kong. So you can see that the principal investigator here and Professor and Mr. Ho is also here, and I'm here. This is someone from the Legislative Council, and we were on a few local newspaper, and this is one of the more well-known ones. And we also speak about the results in the Learning and Teaching Expos in 2023. So yeah, to announce the results. So to summarize, you can see that the two universities kind of have similar results. We can see that the student improve in attentiveness, executive functioning, impulsive behavior, and hyperactive behavior. And with the SDU results, we can see that the emotional regulations are better, the timeliness, so the response time of the students are better, and the inhibitory controls are better. So as many knows, like for special education needs student, SEN students, a lot of them have a hard time controlling their emotion. We have quite a field around as well. You know, it's very hard for them to tame themselves. And before, some kids, when we interviewed them, they will say that before, when my mom kind of talked to me in like a nagging manner, then they would get really angry, and then they would talk back, they would fight back immediately. And then now they said they're better to verbalize their emotion, and they don't, fight back or being really defensive as much. So this is emotional regulation. And with Tufts School of Medicine's research, we can see that there's some permanent enhancement because they did a 6-month follow-up on skill generalization, learning ability, no increase in medication dosage, so on and so forth. So we can see a rather positive results on this kids, not only on like a data, on a data level, it's also on like a personal, like interview level. We can see that the kids and also the parents are quite happy with the research outcomes. So to acknowledge, this is the first study to assess the effectiveness of NCT on the executive functioning of students with ADHD in Hong Kong. So in the hypothesis, we can see that there is a significant improvement in the ADHD symptoms among children receiving the training system. And these positive outcomes can highlight that the NCT training is effective. And parents also notice that the learning problems are better, and the skill generalization and also in academic setting are better. So we are quite proud to say that we have 100% retention, like because the research is quite long, it's 40 sessions, and we do have 24 to start and 24 to end. So we're quite proud of it. But the limitation of the research is small size. It reduced the power to fully elucidate the findings. And but it provides a promising evidence so that the efficacy of NCT as either a standalone or an adjuvant training sessions for children with ADHD, either in the education setting or also in the medical setting. So that's all I'm sharing with all of you today. Here is my email. If anyone wants to kind of chat a bit more, please reach out to me this way. So thank you for your attention.